Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2, a game of two halves, with Arsenal going 1-0 down in the initial 10 minutes of the game, 2 being 2-1 up till the 97th minute of the game. Conceding in the 98th minute, Arsenal came back with a point from the Etihad. We again saw a biased Premier League officiating, and with Michael Oliver being the man of the match for the game. Let's break down the game and see how it goes. So welcome to Football Pundit, and without any further ado, let's get started. The game started pretty well for Manchester City. They were dominating most of the ball, but there were some theatrics that came in from Rodri. During the initial seconds of the game, Rodri went down from a challenge from Kai Havertz, and he was lying down in order to make sure that the referee gives a yellow card to Kai Havertz. It was not good to see from a player with the caliber of Rodri, but that was happening. Then during the later part of the game, I think close to 20th minute, 15 to 20th minute, during the corner, Thomas Partey tried to push around Rodri, where Rodri fell down. And I think that looked pretty bad to me, where he laid down on the pitch, the physio came, they tried to check him, but then he had to be moved and substituted. So Rodri got substituted and Kovacic came on. But Manchester City were dominating most of the game and were trying to create most of the chances during the initial 15 to 20 minutes. Now we need to talk about this goal from Haaland. Even though Arsenal has one of the best defense in the league, Haaland always tries to run with the ball and tries to score when given the space. And here if you see, there was a ball that was cut by Savinho. He got away from Calafiori and then slid the pass for Rodri. If you see the space between Gabriel and Saliba, you see there is plenty of space for Haaland to run, and then he runs with the ball and he scores a top-notch goal without even hitting on David Raya. He directly scores the goal and gives Manchester City the lead in the initial 10 minutes of the game. This makes him the second player, or he equals the record of Cristiano Ronaldo to score 100 goals in his 105 games, and that is a absolute worldie of a record. Now just moments after Rodri is substituted and Kovacic is brought on for him, there is a foul on Thomas Partey, where Arsenal take the free kick quickly and move the ball to Martinelli, which he then provides it to Calafiori, who is trying to invert. And then Calafiori, I have to say, this was a worldie of a goal. It was an absolute stunner against the run of play for Arsenal, because Manchester City were dominating all of those 15 to 20 minutes. And then he scores this in the 21st minute of the game. It was something that Arsenal needed desperately. He shoots from outside of the box from his right foot, and it goes into the top corner, and Ederson cannot do anything about it. It just got the Arsenal fans escalated, and Mikel Arteta as well. Things started to change for Arsenal after Calafiori's wonder goal. Arsenal started to dominate more of the ball. They started to come further up the pitch and attack Manchester City. They created a couple of good chances, and one of those chances led to a corner. Now this corner, the Gabriel was being marked by Doku. He fled through Doku and tried to attack the goal, and it just whiskers away from the goal, and it could have given Arsenal the 1-0 lead. Then just a couple of moments later, Arsenal attacked again and got another corner. This time Walker was given the task to mark Gabriel, and Walker tried to disorient Gabriel's tactics, but it didn't work on him. He swiftly passed away Walker. If you can see in the image, he rushed towards the goal and put in a brilliant header to score and give Arsenal the lead just before halftime. It was something that Arsenal fans were not expecting because of the run of play of the game, but Arsenal changed it around from going 1-0 down to leading 2-1 up just near the halftime. And it was just moments later that, I think it was 6 minutes of added time, and Arsenal was very close to ending the half with leading 2-1 up. The goal from Gabriel made Pep lose his head. You could see him running back towards his chair and knocking out the chair in front of his assistant coach. He was not happy. It was something that he never thought of, that Arsenal could be 2-1 up at the halftime. And then the Trossard second yellow happens, and we need to talk about this. You can see on the right side that referee has just blown the whistle and Trossard knocks the ball. The whistle is still in his mouth, he's still whistling, and he knocks it. It is just maybe less than even a couple of seconds that has gone through. And because of this kick, the referee gives him a second yellow for delaying the play. It is in the 52nd minute of the game, where we are just moments away from halftime being conceded. Now, although I do blame the ref for this, where during his previous time, during the last season's fixture, he didn't give a yellow card or a second yellow to Kovacic on a very bad foul on Odegaard, giving that it will ruin the set of play and it will affect the match. He doesn't give it. In the first half, there was a place where Thomas Partey gets fouled and Doku runs with the ball. He doesn't get any yellow for it. There is another instance where another player of Manchester City fouls an Arsenal player and then again runs with the ball, but they don't get a yellow card as well. Now, as much as I don't feel like talking about the referees, this has to be called out. If you want to give a yellow card, you need to be consistent. You have to make sure that you give all the players who perform similar actions, not just against Arsenal and Arsenal players. You can see Mikel Arteta couldn't even believe it that the referee has given a second yellow for Trossard, and that makes it red and Trossard has to walk off. Now, as much as I have said about the referee, it was a bit stupid from Trossard as well. He should have not kicked the ball. Arsenal were leading, Arsenal were doing well, they were trying to push up the pitch, they were trying to dominate the ball, everything was going in favor of Arsenal, and he should have just retracted himself from kicking the ball away. And as much as it is a split second decisions, maybe the reactions followed through, but it is something that Trossard should have kept in mind. But I do blame the ref for it. If it was a bit consistent, where it would have given a yellow card for Doku and the other player as well, I would have taken it for Trossard. But since he doesn't give any yellow for the other players and just gives it for Trossard, I cannot take it any day. Now, this is the same thing that I was talking about, where Howard Webb was asked why Michael Oliver didn't give a second yellow for the tackle on Odegaard last year, and he said he didn't want to ruin the game. And this season, it is a very harsh yellow, if I have to say, and it's just a split second where it could be just the reactions as well, and he gives a second yellow for it, where he doesn't give it for the other players. And so you know what to think. This is purely biased as far as I can tell. If it would have been 2 yellows for the other players as well, I would have taken it, but it was not to be. And then I did some fact checks on Michael Oliver, and here are some interesting facts that you need to know. So he was paid £20,000 by Man City owners to referee a UAE game in 2023. Previously spared Kovacic a red card, awards fewer yellow to Man City players, given Man City 11 penalties, never issued a red card against Man City. Liverpool versus Man City fails to award Liverpool last minute penalty for Doku, where he did a karate kick on McAllister. In the Manchester City versus Chelsea FA game, fails to award Chelsea a penalty for a clear handball on Jack Grealish. Now make it make sense, people. All these things, and he has awarded now 7 red cards to Arsenal and given multiple yellows that we cannot even take account on. So make it make sense, people. I think this is purely biased against Arsenal. After the red card, the game completely changed for Arsenal. Saka was brought off and Ben White was brought in. Now, I would have thought that Arsenal would have at least kept one forward player maybe a bit further up the pitch, with that being Martinelli, because he has the most pace among all the forwards that we have. But Martinelli was also brought in to support at the back. It was an absolute defense for the next 45 plus 7 minutes. That is 52 minutes of defending against a storm of Manchester City attack. In trying to overcome the Manchester City attack, there were a lot of good saves that were made by David Raya. There were a lot of interceptions that were made by most of the Arsenal players. They were running their socks off in order to make sure that they don't concede a goal. And it was not until the 98th minute in the game where Arsenal lost their focus for a split second, where they couldn't mark the early quickly taken corner, and the ball comes in and gets a shot from Kovacic. I think it is Gabriel or Kivior who tries to block the shot, but then again the deflection comes to John Stones, who was brought in as a substitute, and then hits David Raya's legs and goes to the top roof of the net. And that completely destroyed Arsenal. You can see in the images as well, it completely destroyed all the things that they have worked so hard for keeping the score 2-1 and drawing the game in the last minute of the added time. Although I am extremely devastated by Arsenal scoring a goal at the last minute of the game, which completely ruined the weekend for me, but I'm extremely proud of the players for trying to push through, even being 1 man down and playing with 10 men for more than half of the game. It was an impressive performance, very different to what we have seen Arsenal do with 10 men at the Etihad away. You have to acknowledge that Arsenal really worked their socks off. And if I feel Arsenal would have been 11 players in, I think we would have definitely won that game. It made it extremely difficult against Manchester City, with them being one of the best team in the English Premier League. But somehow we came back with a point. And I think you have to ask yourself, if somebody would have asked me that would you be happy with a point away at the Etihad, I would have taken a point all day. And it's just that in the meaning that we got that 1 point, it just hurts a lot that it was in the last minute of the game, where we were winning for most of the game and against the run of play, against everything. But we have to swallow that hard pill and we have to come back with a point. When Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola was asked about their comments on the match, Pep Guardiola said incredible toil, incredible commitment and incredible compliment to Arsenal. We did really well. In the end, we were fortunate and 99 points left, plenty left to happen. And Arteta said, I'm proud of the team. We played the game an unbelievable difficult context. We ended up conceding the goal, but it's already a miracle that we played that long with 10 men. And I think I do agree with that statement, that every Arsenal fan would have thought that the moment second half kicked in, we would have conceded the goal as early as maybe 60th minute, 70th minute. But for Arsenal to push through the Manchester City storm of attack, and it was not until the dying moments that we conceded. I think we have to put in some respect for all those players who worked so hard. In terms of the match stats, I think if you see the second half stats for Arsenal, it is alarming. As much as I would have liked at least one forward player to be there from which Arsenal could use to break Manchester City when they were defending so deep inside their penalty box, but it was not to be. I don't know why Mikel Arteta didn't even try that tactics, but it's okay. And then you can see that Arsenal only had 12% possession with an XG of 0.16, one shot on target and 0 big chances, and they didn't even create any chances to miss. And where Manchester City had a total of 28 shots in the second half, 9 shots on target, 3 big chances, and one of them that ended up giving them the equalizer. In terms of the overall match stats, Arsenal had 5 shots to their 35, 3 shots on target to their 11, 78% possession for Man City to 22 for Arsenal. Man City has an incredible close to 6-9-10, which is 700 passes to Arsenal 202, with 92% of passing accuracy to Arsenal 72. There were 7 fouls to Arsenal's 10 fouls, 3 yellow card for City players, and 6 yellow card for an Arsenal player. Again, this is important. Like, they have given so many yellow card for Arsenal player. 1 red card, which is we know of Trossard, 1 offside, and they had 8 corners to Arsenal too. And both of the Arsenal corner that we looked like scoring. Gabriel could have scored even the first one, and the second one he scored. In terms of the overall player rating, you can see Kai Havertz, he had 0 passes. Timber also had 0 passes. So it was not a game free flowing for Arsenal. Leandro Trossard with the red card, he gets a 5.6. Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, they really ran their socks off, so I cannot say anything about them. Bukayo Saka providing the assist, so he gets the 7 rating. Gabriel Martinelli, he also was running throughout the second half. He was the only outlet Arsenal were trying to make. Julian Timber with again 6.5. William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. So Gabriel Magalhaes with the goal, he gets a 7.6. And Ricardo Colferri gets again with the goal a 7.5. And with David Raya again being the best player on for Arsenal in this match again with a rating of 8.6. He has been an outstanding throughout this Premier League and Champions League campaign, making sure that Arsenal's actual defense line ends with David Raya. He is turning around games for us, making those unbelievable saves that we have not seen in the past other keepers make. So a huge round of applause from my side to David Raya for making sure that Arsenal came back with a point in this game, and from William Saliba and all the other defenders as well. On the game, Peter Schmeichel made an important point with speaking on Leandro Trossard's red card. This is the biggest game in the Premier League so far. Soft yellow cards, why is Michael Oliver trying to ruin it? It's a big game, emotions are flying high. Understand what you are dealing with here. But no, Michael Oliver wants all the spotlight on himself. Pep Guardiola on Rodri, he said, I don't know yet. I didn't ask the doctors, he's strong. He leaves the pitch and his actions... is he felt something, otherwise he would have stayed there. Arteta, when he was asked to comment on the game, he said that I'm proud of the players. We were forced to play the game not the way we wanted to. It is not my job to talk about what happened there and just to survive in the toughest league in the football, and not to talk about the referees and their decisions. When Calafiori was asked about his debut and how he did on scoring the goal against Manchester City, he said, we played really good. When the ref send off a player, it's like a very difficult position to be, and we were so close to winning the game. I think he had a fabulous start for Arsenal. He was very good in the Champions League match that he came on, and he was again very well, and again he was very good in the Manchester away game as well. So that's the video then and there, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is the referee biased against Arsenal? Was the decision correct? Are referees consistent in the Premier League? Because I have not seen them being consistent. What do you think Arsenal should change now that Leandro Trossard has taken a red as well? Who do you think should start in the number 8, number 10 position for Arsenal? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care.